Welcome to Module 4 of TBRI, Connecting Principles, Engagement Strategies. In this module, we will learn balancing structure and nurture, caregiving styles, and engagement strategies. Before exploring the TBRI engagement strategies, it is important to reflect on our tendencies as caregivers, which are shaped by our caregiving history, current circumstances, and beliefs about caregiving. We are all influenced by our unique lived experiences and identities, which are shaped by factors such as where we live, where we grew up, our social class, racial and cultural backgrounds, gender identities, sexuality, disability status, and the political climate, and more. We all have strengths and areas for improvement, both as humans and as caregivers. Our tendencies, whether in affection, discipline, structure, or nurture, are influenced by how we approach caregiving. Our actions and tendencies are formed by our knowledge, available tools, and life experiences. It is important for caregivers to work toward a healthy balance of structure and nurture. Children need this balance from their caregiver in order to grow and learn to trust their caregiver to meet their needs. Children whose caregivers learn to balance structure and nurture have healthier outcomes later in life, school, work, and relationships than children whose caregivers provide an imbalance with either too much or too little structure or nurture. As humans, we need both structure and nurture to help reach our full potential and to feel supported and loved while doing so. We've talked a lot about nurturing care already in this training. We've talked about the attachment cycle, felt safety, and the 4 skills of healthy relationships and how caregivers are secure base for children. We haven't talked a lot about structure yet, but we will. Structure is just as important and a part of TBRI as nurture. Structure does not mean harsh, punitive, or cold. Caregivers can give both structure and nurture in a way that maintains or even strengthens connection and felt safety. We all need appropriate challenges in order to grow and progress, to gain new skills, and to tolerate manageable stress. Without a proper amount of structure, we fail to communicate to our children that they are capable of trying new things, growing through change, and voicing their needs appropriately. This can keep them stagnant. When balanced with nurture, structure can be incredibly powerful, and it says to children that we are in this together, and I am here to help you grow. Both structure and nurture in different ways help create felt safety. As we know, creating felt safety is foundational in all healthy relationships and is especially important for children who have experienced toxic stress. Remember, just because a child is in a physically safe environment, they may not automatically feel safe based on their past experiences. So, how does balancing structure and nurture help children feel safe? Let's talk about it. Structure helps provide a sense of felt safety for children by communicating. I am the adult and you are free to be a child. I will help set limits to keep you safe and healthy. You can feel safe knowing that my expectations are consistent. We have routines so that the way we live can mostly be predictable for you. You will have lots of choices and the ability to compromise with me, while I make sure to guide you well. I will support you through this. I will teach you healthy and helpful tools for life to help you practice. I will prepare you to be successful in the world. I believe that you are capable of great things, and I am here to help you grow. Caregivers can create structure by setting clear limits and expectations, creating routines and sticking to them, addressing behavioral concerns consistently, modeling respect, creating shared understanding of expectations through common language, sharing appropriate amounts of power with choices and compromises, and offering ample opportunities to practice and successfully master skills for self-regulation, decision-making, negotiating needs, giving and receiving care, and being autonomous self, which is the 4 skills of healthy relationships. Nurture. Nurture helps provide a sense of felt safety for children by communicating. I see you, I hear you, you are not alone, I've got you, you're a great kid, you are precious to me, I love being with you, you are worthy of love and care, you matter, your needs are important to me, and I am here for you. Caregivers can provide nurture by responding quickly and in an emotionally connected way when a child expresses a need. Validating the child's emotions, such as, that makes a lot of sense that you'd feel that way. I bet this is really scary for you. I understand that this is frustrating, or just some examples. Wondering aloud with them what they may be experiencing. I wonder if you're feeling overwhelmed with all that is happening right now. I wonder if you're feeling disappointed because you didn't get what you wanted. Practicing the TBRI engagement strategies, such as nurturing care, strengthening connections, and repeat the attachment cycle, can build trust. We can work at this through recreating optimal attachment experiences, which may or may not have happened for children in our care. As mentioned, children need both structure and nurture, with optimal caregiving balancing both. Dr. Karen Purvis summarized it beautifully when she stated, if a child needs nurture and I give him structure, I harm his ability to trust me. If a child needs structure and I give him nurture, I harm his ability to grow. The balance of structure and nurture takes consistent practice and reflection. And this quote can serve as a regular reminder for you to reflect on your caregiving journey. Before playing this video, I am going to ask you to take note at how Dr. Karen Purvis balances structure and nurture throughout the episode. She doesn't use all structure, then add nurture at the end. She alternates continuously. Participants can even tally how often she provides each. Part of achieving the structure and nurture balance involves simply having awareness that this is a challenge. Being mindfully aware of where your own balance is off, too much structure or too much nurture can be helpful when interacting with children. Let's watch.
John Nathaniel. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Just come back and use your words. Come back right now. Use your words. So, whoa, tell buddy if you want to. John Nathaniel. If you want to compromise, you need to tell buddy. Look at her eyes. She can't see you.
Yes, we can go to the group capacity.
Can I have a fireball?
Whoa!
Can I have a fireball, please?
Would you like a piece of gum?
No, I'm a fireball.
You know, we can do a fireball like right after group. Would you like a fireball right after group? Because we can have a fireball. Oh! Are you asking or telling?
I'm up for right now.
Okay, try again with ask for compromise with good words.
Can I have a fireball?
Can you? Is that good words? Did you use good words? Yeah. Okay. We'll have to see if everybody else wants one too, though, okay? Fair enough? What am I looking for, buddy? Whoa! She's on her feet. That's really nice asking. You know what? We're going to go to, let me see, guys. Whoa. We're going to go to group right now, and then you can go to 10 after that, okay? And right now, you want me to tell Buddy where the fireballs are? Come here. Hello, George. Are you still? Oh, that's good sticking together. So get the fireballs. Let me see eyes, buddy. John Nathaniel, get enough to share with the group and ask everybody if they want one.
Exploring caregiving styles. Balanced authoritative caregiving provides both high structure and high nurture, meeting children's emotional needs while setting clear limits. This fosters felt safety, making children feel valued and secure. High structure, low nurture, authoritarian caregiving enforces rules and routines but lacks emotional support, leading to power struggles and disconnection. High nurture, low structure, permissive caregiving offers warmth but lacks boundaries, making it difficult for children to develop respect for rules. Low structure, low nurture, uninvolved caregiving provides minimal support and guidance, leaving children without the structure and connection needed for healthy development. Attachment patterns are all about getting needs met, and these patterns become the model for all future relationships. Attachment patterns are adaptive, and they teach us what to expect in close relationships. Researchers call this an internal working model of relationships. Caregiving styles are more about the actions, strategies, or approaches a caregiver uses when interacting with or raising children. These are the external practices of caregivers. As caregivers explore their own attachment history and how it impacts current relationships, which is more of an internal practice, the frameworks of our 4 skills of healthy relationships and the different caregiving styles can help caregivers see where they can make practical, actionable changes in a way that they care for their children. Just like with attachment patterns, understanding our caregiving style can increase self-awareness and therefore help caregivers practice mindful awareness. Remember, the goal is to provide both high structure and high nurture in balance. Positioning in the top right quadrant, authoritative. In this style of caregiving, the caregiver is able to meet the child's needs for connection as well as set appropriate limits. In this balance, the child can experience a sense of felt safety as they are connected to their caregiver, who is responsive, warm, and attentive, which communicates that the child is worth being cared for and that they have a voice that matters. They can also experience felt safety through knowing there are limits and routines in place to keep them safe and healthy. They trust that the adult can teach them tools for life and set appropriate perimeters while not stifling their voice. While the attachment patterns and caregiving styles don't match up perfectly, secure attachment patterns and the authoritative caregiving style are related and can be considered the optimal pattern or style that results in best outcomes for children. When we look at high structure and low nurture, The caregiver is skilled at setting limits or creating a predictable routine, but may struggle to emotionally connect with children in their care, and therefore miss opportunities to comfort and give voice. Caregivers with this style tend to value and focus on obedience and respect for authority, and therefore do not share power. This can make it difficult for the child to feel that their voice matters and that their emotions are important. This can unintentionally distance caregivers from the children in their care, and for many children whose histories have been made them feel powerless, this type of caregiving style may drive them into seeking control in other areas, through their behaviors, for example. To move towards a balance of structure and nurture, caregivers with this style are encouraged to reflect on their own beliefs about children's needs for nurturing, care, and their own history, and around giving and receiving care, and practice emotional attunement and responsiveness with children in their care. In caregiving style of high nurture and low structure, the caregiver may be very warm, responsive, and attentive to the emotional needs of the children in their care, but may struggle setting limits and following through. Caregivers with this style often avoid conflict and quickly give in to children's wants or demands to avoid tension. They tend to want to keep the peace. This caregiving style may also lead to decreased felt safety for our children, as the caregiver's responses to them may be inconsistent. For an example, setting a limit and then continually changing it. While we certainly want to give our children voice, choice, and the ability to negotiate their needs through compromises, ultimately the caregiver still needs to be in charge for that child to understand healthy boundaries and respect. Without structure, children may not be encouraged or challenged to try new things, or may struggle to understand boundaries and consequences. These are important skills for every person as we navigate life. To move toward a balance of structure and nurture, caregivers with this style are encouraged to reflect on their own beliefs about children's needs for structure and practice setting the following through appropriate limits. The final caregiving style is in the lower left quadrant, uninvolved. When there is both low structure and low nurture. In this caregiving style, caregivers provide minimal nurturing care and set few limits or routines. They prioritize independence over connection, which may prevent children from developing a sense of felt safety, as they are often expected to meet their own needs. While this may create a high level of independence, which some value as a strength, can hinder the child's ability to function well in interpersonal relationships. Because healthy relationships require connection, shared power, voice, and negotiation. When structure and nurture are lacking, there can be an imbalance in the roles of the child and the caregiver. To move towards a balance of structure and nurture, caregivers with this style are encouraged to reflect on their beliefs about the caregiver's responsibility to provide nurture and structure, identify their own barriers to emotional availability, and practice meeting a child's needs proactively. Now that the 4 caregiving styles have been briefly covered, it is helpful to reflect on where one might fall within this quadrant. Throughout this course, the emphasis remains on the understanding that no child needs a perfect caregiver, nor is perfection the goal or even possible. There is always a chance to build stronger relationships and find a healthy balance through awareness and practice. Reflection on both moments of being at one's best and times of stress is important, as these factors can influence the balance of structure and nurture in caregiving.
The other thing that big behaviors makes me think of with TBRI is this structure nurture dance that we require with TBRI, in the sense that there are big behaviors that we have to up our structure, right? Like we can't be violent, we can't, so we do need to lead with that structure and make sure kids feel safe. But that dance that I think is very unique to TBRI is that after we, if we lead with structure, that next step is nurture. And that's the dance that we have going, with our kids all day, every day. And that's very different than other interventions or other parenting strategies, because usually it's, when things are going bad, you up the structure, lower the nurture, or others, are the opposite. You up the nurture and lower the structure. And really what we're saying is this is a both and so again, going back to that mindfulness piece around as caregivers, I am going to be better at one of those than the other. And so my natural tendency is going to be to lead with one of those. And so I have to be really aware of, if there's a big behavior and my immediate response is structure, I have to be able to follow that up with just as much nurture. And vice versa. For me, I'm going to lead with structure every time because that's, how I was raised. But I now have to stretch that muscle of nurture and say, we're not doing that. How can I help you get your need met? You cannot use those, strategies. Here are 4 strategies you can use. Which one can I help you with? And that dance is, I think, very unique to what we're talking about.
The way I act affects how others feel and think about themselves. Engagement strategies. The engagement strategies provide valuable ways to nurture a healthy connection with people of all ages. When the engagement strategies are used consistently and warmly to respond to needs, they facilitate healthy relationships. The engagement strategies include healthy touch, positively providing appropriate physical touch, warm eye contact, using soft, kind eye contact as a way to connect, voice quality, a voice tone, cadence, and volume that conveys the balance of structure and nurture that is appropriate for the situation, behavior matching, reflecting someone else's actions or emotional states, playful interaction, a lighthearted and playful way of interaction. When any of us, children, youth, and caregivers, have experienced stressful environments, it can be difficult for us to accept care and nurturing. The engagement strategies provide non-threatening, playful ways to engage children who have a hard time accepting care from adults and help to create healthy connections. It's normal for one or even many of the engagement strategies to feel challenging at first. Our own histories impact how we interact with children and other adults, and they can also influence our level of comfort and confidence when using different engagement strategies. We can practice mindful awareness by noticing our responses to the different strategies and chase the why behind any resistance to or avoidance of certain strategies. Often we discover that we struggle with different engagement strategies because we did not experience them with our own caregivers, or we have a button because of past experiences. It is important to become aware of our history and areas for growth so that we are able to model the 4 skills of healthy relationships with the children in our care. By working through our own histories around giving and receiving care, we will gain the ability to become attuned to the children in our care and more effectively meet their needs. The goal of this session isn't for you to use the engagement strategies perfectly right away. Instead, we would want to focus on building awareness of what each strategy is, why it's important for creating connection and felt safety, and where you might have room to grow. You may start by practicing just one strategy, then gradually adding others over time. The engagement strategies that can become habits that naturally show up in your relationship. Let's start with the first one, healthy touch. Healthy touch is essential to our overall well-being and health. Humans are biologically wired to require healthy touch to survive and thrive. Healthy touch is a nonverbal way to communicate that we are connected, you matter, you are safe, and you can trust me, and you can rely on me. It is also a key component of how caregivers teach children self-regulation tools when they are soothing and offering comfort through touch. If we receive healthy touch from our caregivers, it is a tool that we often use throughout our lifetime and all of our relationships. Healthy touch can take many forms and is a powerful way to communicate care and connection. It might look like a hug, a hand on the shoulder, a fist bump, or a mirroring game. Healthy touch can also help to get a child's attention, like gently touching their arm or inviting them to a place in their hands in yours. Or inviting them to place their hands in yours. And can happen naturally during activities like cooking, gardening, or crafting. As trust builds, suggest offering opportunities for healthy touch where the child is in control, such as painting the caregiver's nails, brushing your hair, applying face paint, or leading a blindfolded walk. Warm eye contact. Eye contact and facial expressions are important components of nonverbal communication. The quality of these cues provide insight into one's emotional state and helps convey the meaning behind their words. When someone's facial expression does not align with what they are saying, we are more likely to trust the nonverbal message. For example, if someone says they are fine, but their expression reflects sadness, anger, or fear, their nonverbal cues may suggest otherwise. To maintain a sense of felt safety and support connection, we must be mindful of what our eyes and our face is communicating. This can be difficult when we are trying to correct behavior, particularly if the behavior is one of our buttons. However, if we want a child to hear the correction and feel capable of changing the behavior, then we must tell them with our eyes, you are safe, you are loved, you can do it. It is important that we don't ask for eye contact when we cannot communicate safety and love through our eyes. This also requires mindful awareness. By communicating verbally and nonverbally to a child that they are safe, seen, and supported, even when you're correcting a behavior, you can help prevent them from going into survival mode. The word warm and warm eye contact is important. You may see this described as valuing eye contact or soft eye contact in other TBRI resources. This emphasizing that eye contact as engagement strategy is not piercing eye contact or eye contact that is meant to intimidate. For example, when we say that our parents used to give us the look to show that we are in trouble without using words, or if a caregiver says, "Look at me" when I'm talking to you, that's piercing eye contact, not warm eye contact. That is meant to create connection and felt safety. To help visualize warm eye contact, think about the look a caregiver gives to their newborn baby. There is a warmth to their expression that says, "You are precious to me." That is warm eye contact. Using warm eye contact with children on purpose is a great way to build connection, trust, and felt safety. What is reflected to us through caregivers' eyes is one of the ways we begin to create our own internal story of who we are. Am I lovable? Am I good? Am I precious? Do people like being around me? Some children who have experienced toxic stress may struggle with eye contact for a variety of reasons. So have fun, be playful, and be patient. Don't demand or try to force eye contact if the child is uncomfortable with it. Maybe you look at each other through a mirror versus face to face. Ask what color their eyes are. Play a game. Practice in calm and playful times, not just when you need to correct the behavior. Let's watch a video now on eye contact.
I like to think that eye contact is the window to the soul. And if I can look into a child's eyes and they're looking into my eyes, there's a primal connection that's made. But also, if we have something we want to say, then there's a much greater chance that the child will hear what we want to say.
We have to make sure that we're really safe. And so the number one rule,
what we want to do is not make piercing eye contact, but begin to get glancing eye contact. And so if I can say something like, "Can I see those great eyes?" I want to. Sometimes we'll do a little feather touch on the chin, just a little chin prompt, and we'll say, "Sweetie, can I see those great eyes? Wow, I love those great eyes." All right. Look at them and look away. Look back at them. "Oh, I love those eyes," and look away. And over time, develop more and more sustained eye contact.
I like to think
Voice quality. Our voice quality is another key piece of nonverbal communication. How loudly or softly, or quickly or slowly we speak, as well as the tone we use, playful and higher pitched versus serious and lower pitched, can heavily influence the way others receive our communication. Just like eye contact and facial expression, our voice quality influences the emotional, cognitive, and behavioral responses in others, regardless of the words we are saying. If we want to try to keep the other person's lid down or try to avoid triggering their stress response so that they can hear what we have to say, we must be mindfully aware of our voice quality. When we are attuned to the situation and the needs of the child, we naturally adjust our voice. For example, if a child has had a stressful day at school and comes in the door with their head down, withdrawn, and quiet, you could attune to their body language and adjust your voice quality when greeting them, using a soft, gentle, and slower voice. This will show the child that you recognize their feelings, meeting them where they are in the moment, and are ready to support them. Alternatively, if a caregiver is trying to encourage a child who is excited but nervous about trying something new, that caregiver might use a higher pitch, faster cadence, and higher volume to match the child's excitement and to encourage them. Voice quality is also a way to engage children in connection. How this works is clear when we are referring to infants and toddlers. For example, we often use a higher pitch, sing a song like or silly voice when we are playing with an infant. With young children, we use various tones of silliness in our play. With older children and teenagers, we can change our voice quality to sound more playful, but it may not be an obvious change. In this video, Darren is reflecting on his time working in a residential facility and is specifically talking about one interaction in which a young child had gotten a hold of a knife. This video is a powerful illustration of the importance of voice quality and how it contributes to nonverbal communication and felt safety. If you would like more context around this story, you can watch the full video, Big Behavior Needs. It's probably found on YouTube. We're going to watch a small snippet of it here.
So when I think about the little guy with the knife to his neck, you know, the voice tone as he has this knife to his neck has structure in my tone, because this is serious. This is a life and death injury related. You know, you're in harm's way. But now when I think about it, it was soft eyes, and the eyes spoke something to the little guy, and what those eyes speak to is as if this right here, because he's seen me do this and meet needs in this type of way, and in that real time interaction, I have to be able to translate that, you know, through my eyes, through my body, you know, through my my proximity, you know. I'm not just gonna run in, you know.
I would guess that even in your voice, you didn't go to harsh.
Didn't.
You went to, hey, I'm in charge.
Right.
But I'm not here to hurt you.
Right.
And that was conveyed in the voice too.
And it's a voice tone. That wasn't the first time hearing that voice tone, because we worked that muscle all day, you know, every day. And the voice tone wasn't a punitive type of, you know, structure and tone. It was more of, I told you, in the sunshine and the rain, even when the wheels fall off, right, in the rain, I got you. And
now let's discuss behavior matching. Another way to build connection is through behavior matching, or mirroring the action, posture, expressions, tone, and even interest of another person. This can be verbal and nonverbal. When we match the behavior of others, we communicate connection, likeness, togetherness, and safety. Many times we do this naturally, sometimes without even knowing it. When we are in trusting relationships with others where we feel safe, we may sit in the same position, lean on the table the same way, or match each other's facial expressions and voice quality. When we are working to build connection, trust, and felt safety with the child, we can behavior match on purpose. Some ways we might do this: sitting the same way the child is, choosing the same color toy, sticker, or flavor of food as the child. Engage in a child's favorite activity with them: video games, basketball, watching their favorite show together. Mirroring games, making faces at each other, mimicking different expressions or feelings to one another are just other examples of matching behavior. Let's listen to Dr. Karen Purvis.
And matching just simply means that you, in some ways, position yourself, your body, your voice, to match your child's.
We're going to play. We're going to have tadpoles.
And so if they're sitting, we'll sit. If they're quiet, we'll be quiet.
1, 2, 3.
If they're engaged in an activity, we'll engage in that activity too. It is a way to non-verbally, in a very direct and kind of primitive or primal way, build a connection. You're doing this, I'm doing the same thing. I'm sitting there just the way you are. We try to give children a wide range and a very rich set of experiences where their emotions and reactions and expressions and so on are mirrored or reflected in what other people do and say.
Woo! Look around, everybody's feeling the same thing. You see everybody's feeling what you're feeling?
Moving on to playful interaction. Being playful is a key part of building connection and trust in any relationship. When we can laugh and have fun together, we deepen our sense of belonging and safety within that relationship. For children, play is one of the primary ways that relationships develop. When we are playing, we are not afraid. Our lid is down, and our brain is fully integrated. This is the best time for learning. Correcting behaviors and creating new neutral pathways for new behaviors can be learned more quickly and effectively through play when the brain is fully and the experience is fun. Play is a great opportunity to incorporate all of the other engagement strategies: healthy touch, warm eyes, voice quality, and behavior matching. Also, when adults can play, be silly, and have fun with children, we are able to get into their world and speak to them in their own language. Play humanizes adults, disarms fears, and creates a deeper sense of connection and felt safety. Let's listen.
Play allows you to safely touch the heart of a vulnerable child. Shared silliness, laughter, and games all demonstrate to a child that you mean no harm. Playful interaction helps reshape behavior while building enjoyable relationships.
Something we know about healthy children is that they play unfettered, joyful, boundless play. And what we know about traumatized children is that they very often don't know how to play. We also know that as caregivers, if we teach our children to play amidst the laughter and the joy, fear is banished. So a huge gift from learning to be playful and learning to play with our children is that we can disarm their fear. Another huge benefit is the fact that we have the ability when we play with our children to correct and redirect and teach them behavior.
Play
Now let's reflect. Growing up, did your caregivers use one or more of the TBRI engagement strategies with you? If so, which ones? Which one of the TBR engagement strategies do you find the easiest when interacting with children? The most challenging? Why might this be true for you? In this session, we covered balancing structure and nurture, caregiving styles, and engagement strategies. In the next session, we will talk about TBRI empowering principles, physiological strategies. See you in Module 5.